The Galactic Council chamber floated peacefully in the center of a bright starfield, but inside, nothing was peaceful. The hall was huge and round, filled with glowing blue lights and tall metal pillars. Delegates from more than 40 alien species sat in their seats, each one tense, nervous, and whispering in low voices. Something was wrong in the galaxy. And everyone knew the cause. Humans. Not human fleets. Not human colonies. Not human technology. No. Human soldiers. Aliens already feared them. Stories of human bravery, human madness, human strength, and human stubbornness had spread across every star system. Warriors from fearsome races talked quietly about the Terran infantry. Traders whispered that human marines were unstoppable. Even pirates avoided human ships. Today the council wanted answers. Today fear filled the room like cold smoke. A tall insectoid delegate slammed his claws on the table. We cannot ignore this any longer. Human soldiers are too strong. A scaled reptilian general hissed loudly. They fight like they enjoy danger. They walk into battles they cannot win, and then they win them. A small glowing alien trembled. If this continues, humanity will become the most powerful warrior species in the galaxy. The hall erupted in voices. Fear, anger, confusion. Only one person remained calm. Council Leader Vorik. He raised his long metallic arm and silence spread across the chamber. We are here to discuss an urgent matter. A matter more dangerous than human soldiers. His voice echoed gently. We have discovered something disturbing. Something new. The delegates leaned forward. Vorik's glowing eyes dimmed. The humans have a group far stronger than their regular armies. A heavy cold feeling spread through the room. What group? What is stronger than their infantry? Impossible. Vorik spoke very slowly. They call them Special Forces. Every alien froze. The words felt heavy, dark, unknown, as if they did not belong in this room. A nervous bird-like alien whispered, if their regular soldiers already frighten us, what about these special forces? No one spoke. Some aliens looked at each other. Some stared at the floor. A few pretended not to hear. But everyone understood the truth. Something terrifying was coming. Council Leader Vorik touched a nearby panel. A hologram appeared, floating above the chamber. It showed a destroyed battlefield on a distant moon. Crushed vehicles, burned alien machines, holes in the ground. The destruction was total. The council watched closely. In the hologram, dozens of human soldiers moved through the ruins. They wore simple armor, carried heavy weapons. They looked tired and dirty, but they kept pushing forward, never stopping. The alien delegates felt the familiar chill in their stomachs. Regular humans were already too dangerous. Then Vorik zoomed into one corner of the image. A blurry shape appeared. Fast, silent, moving across the battlefield like a shadow. A delegate gasped. Another jumped from their seat. That is not a normal soldier. The blurry figure moved with impossible speed, crossing 30 meters in seconds. It slammed into an enemy machine and ripped its armor open with one explosive motion. The hologram paused. The room was silent again. Vorik spoke softly. The humans tried to hide this. They tried to erase the footage. But we found it first. A thin mechanical alien asked, voice shaking, how many of these special forces exist? Vorik closed his eyes. We do not know. The room exploded into panic. They could destroy us. They could already be watching us. No wonder their enemies lose war after war. This is not a normal species. One delegate whispered the most terrifying thought of all. If regular humans are this strong, what are their elites capable of? Far above the chamber, hidden on a balcony, an alien intelligence officer watched everything quietly. His name was Yarok, a member of a species that valued stealth and secrets. He observed the panic below with a heavy heart. He had seen more than the hologram showed. He had seen the real footage. He had watched the special forces in action. He remembered the moment clearly, a black armored human standing alone against an enemy swarm. Calm, silent, moving with precision that no machine could match. He remembered the human's voice, cold, confident, almost emotionless. Target neutralized. Moving to next objective. Yarok shivered. He understood why the galaxy was afraid. Because deep inside even he feared them. Back on the main floor, Council Leader Vorik raised his arm again. Enough. We must not panic. We must understand. The delegates slowly quieted. Vorik continued, we have summoned a representative from Earth. He will arrive in 1 hour. The aliens stared at him. A human? In this moment, some species protested. Others panicked. But a few wanted answers. A heavy metallic guard entered the chamber and bowed. Council leader, the human envoy is close. Vorik nodded and looked around the room. Prepare yourselves. Today we learn the truth. Today we decide the future. A deep silence fell. Every alien understood. This meeting could change the galaxy. Because if humans already terrified them, what would they feel when they finally met the ones humanity feared? The special forces. And with that final thought, the chamber lights dimmed. The countdown began. The human was coming. The Galactic Council chamber felt colder than before. Every alien delegate waited in silence, eyes fixed on the tall silver doors at the front of the hall. Soon, a human would walk through them. And humans were already terrifying enough. But today, they would be asked about something far worse. Special forces. Many delegates whispered quietly, trying to calm themselves. What if he gets angry? Humans become dangerous when cornered. What if he lies to protect his kind? What if special forces are already here? Council leader Vorik raised his glowing hand for silence, but even he could not hide the tension in his voice. The human envoy is entering now. A long metallic sound echoed through the hall as the doors slowly slid open. Every alien leaned forward. A single figure stepped inside. He was tall, wearing a dark blue uniform with silver lines. His posture was straight, his steps calm, and his expression unreadable. His name was Commander Elias Ward, official representative of Earth. But even from a distance it was clear. This man was not afraid. And that made the aliens even more nervous. Commander Ward walked to the center of the chamber. 40 alien species watched him like he was a wild animal. Some stared in fear. Some tried to look brave. A few simply didn't blink at all. Ward stopped under the bright spotlight. He bowed politely. Greetings, Council. Earth thanks you for your invitation. The politeness did not relax the room. Instead, some aliens felt even more uneasy. Humans always stayed calm before something dangerous happened. It was part of their nature. Council leader Vorik stepped forward. He spoke slowly, trying to sound confident. Commander Ward, we have called you here to discuss something very serious. Ward nodded once. I understand. Vorik continued, your regular soldiers have become a topic of concern. They show strength beyond normal expectations. Ward remained still. He did not deny anything. A thick-skinned alien with heavy armor slammed his fist on the table. Your soldiers defeated 3 of our battalions alone. How is that possible? Ward simply replied, training, discipline, will. Many aliens swallowed nervously. Humans spoke about danger the same way others spoke about breakfast. Vorik raised his hand. But regular soldiers are not why you are here today. Commander Ward finally looked up. His eyes were calm but sharp. Vorik pressed a button, and the earlier hologram appeared again, showing the mysterious blurry figure moving across the battlefield with impossible speed. The entire hall watched Ward's face. He did not react. Not even a blink. That scared the aliens more than anything. Vorik asked quietly, Commander, who is this? Ward answered without hesitation. A member of our special forces. A wave of cold fear spread across the room. So it was true. All the rumors. All the whispers. All the fear. Real. Confirmed. The council chamber erupted in chaos again. Impossible. Humans hide super soldiers. They are too dangerous. We must defend ourselves. This is a threat. Commander Ward did not raise his voice. He simply waited for the noise to end. It took almost a full minute. When silence returned, Ward spoke clearly. Special forces exist to face threats normal soldiers cannot. A small glowing alien asked, trembling, threats like what? Ward paused. His eyes moved slowly from one delegate to another. Threats that you do not want to meet. The room froze. Vorik leaned forward, voice shaking. You mean, there are dangers we do not know about? Ward nodded once. Yes. And your special forces fight them? Vorik asked. Yes. A young reptilian general hissed. Why hide this from us? Commander Ward answered calmly, because we did not want to start a galactic panic. Too late. The panic was already here. Council leader Vorik took a deep breath. His tone was quieter now. Commander Ward, the galaxy already fears your normal soldiers. If special forces are stronger, faster, and more deadly, why should we trust humanity? Ward looked at him without emotion. Because if we wanted to conquer you, he said, we would not be having this conversation. The hall went silent again. No one dared speak. The truth in his words hit them hard. Humans had power. Humans had discipline. Humans had super soldiers. But humans also had something more dangerous. Restraint. Ward continued, voice steady and calm. Special forces are a last resort. They do not start wars. They end threats. The aliens exchanged worried glances. A nervous insectoid whispered, if special forces are a last resort, what kind of threat needs them? Ward finally turned toward the giant window overlooking space. He stared into the darkness for a long moment. Then he said quietly, a threat that is coming. The entire chamber felt a cold chill. Vorik took a step forward. What do you mean coming? Ward looked back at them. This time, fear touched even his human eyes. We have detected something. Something big. Something dangerous. He paused. Something not from our galaxy. Several delegates gasped. Others screamed. What is it? A fleet? A creature? A new enemy? Ward shook his head. We don't know yet. But special forces were created to prepare for it. Silence swallowed the room. The galaxy had feared humans. Now they feared what humans feared. And that was worse. Ward ended with a final warning. You called me here for answers. This is the truth. Humans are not your enemy. He pointed at the stars. But what is coming, might be. The chamber lights dimmed. No one moved. No one breathed. And for the first time in their history, the aliens were not afraid of humans. They were afraid with them. The council chamber remained silent long after Commander Ward finished speaking. His final words echoed in every alien's mind like a dark shadow. Something is coming. Alien eyes shifted nervously. Some tapped their claws on the table. Some shook with fear. Others whispered prayers to their ancient gods. But no one dared to interrupt the silence. Finally, Council Leader Vorik slowly stood up. Commander Ward, if humans knew about this threat, why did you not tell us sooner? Ward kept his calm posture. His voice stayed steady. Because humanity did not want to cause panic. And because we were not ready. A cold whisper spread across the room. Not ready? Humans? Not ready? If humans, with their dangerous soldiers, fearless warriors, and impossible strength, felt unprepared, then the threat must be beyond imagination. Vorik took a deep breath. Explain. What is Special Forces truly meant to fight? Ward stepped forward. Holograms lit up around him. A series of strange symbols and deep space images appeared in the air. These records come from ancient ruins we found far outside mapped space. The ruins are older than any known civilization. The aliens leaned closer. Some of them recognized the symbols. They shivered. Ward continued. Long before humans discovered space travel, something wiped out entire star systems. Entire species disappeared without a trace. One of the delegates, a small silver-skinned creature, trembled. The void anomalies. Ward nodded. Yes. The same energy signatures appear again, now. At the edge of our galaxy. A heavy thud echoed. One alien fainted. Another whispered, voice shaking, we thought those were myths. Ward looked directly at him. They are not myths. The hologram zoomed out, showing a dark region of space. Black clouds spiraled around a strange energy pattern. It looked like a storm made of shadows. A storm that consumed light itself. Some aliens turned away. Others covered their eyes. Even the bravest warriors felt their hearts grow cold. Ward spoke with calm precision. This threat moves in silence. No communication. No warning. It destroys everything in its path, slowly, completely, and without mercy. A reptilian general hissed, but what does this have to do with humans? Why create special forces? Ward's voice lowered. Because normal soldiers cannot fight something that bends reality. Something that corrupts matter. Something that kills without touching. He paused. Special forces were trained to fight the unimaginable. The words sank deep into every mind. Council Leader Vorik spoke again, trying to hold his composure. Commander Ward, how long have you known about this threat? Ward answered without hesitation. 30 years. Chaos erupted instantly. 30 years? You kept this hidden for 3 decades? Humans are mad. We could have prepared our armies. You left us blind. Commander Ward raised one hand. Instant silence returned. He said softly. If we had warned you earlier, you would have fought among yourselves. You would have blamed each other. Some of you would have attacked Earth out of fear. The aliens could not deny it. Their history was full of such mistakes. Vorik sat back exhausted. So Earth prepared alone? Ward nodded. Yes. He pointed to the hologram beside him. It showed human soldiers training in strange environments, gravity distortions, void fields, energy storms. These conditions simulate the threat's effects, Ward explained. Only a few humans can survive them. Even fewer can adapt. A large armored alien asked, "So your special forces, are they fully human?" Ward looked at him with a strange expression. "They are human. Completely human." The alien frowned. "Impossible. No normal human can endure void storms." Ward replied. "No normal human can. But special forces are not normal." The aliens leaned in. They waited for details. They wanted answers. But Ward simply said, "Their training makes them different. Their minds and bodies adapt to things others cannot endure." A small insectoid delegate asked timidly, "What happens if they fail this training?" Ward turned his head slowly. "They don't fail." The room fell silent again. No one asked further. Vorik finally stood. His voice was firm now, though his hands still trembled. "Commander Ward, what do you want from us? Why are you telling us now?" Ward folded his arms behind his back. "Because the threat is no longer far away. It has entered the outer systems. Within the next few years, it will reach Council territory." Many aliens gasped. A bird-like creature spread its wings in fear. "Few years? You mean it is already here?" Ward nodded. "And now we need to stand together." Vorik slowly exhaled. "You want an alliance?" Ward replied, "We want survival." The delegates whispered among themselves. "Can we trust humans? They hid this for decades. But they protected us. They prepared alone. Maybe they saved us." Vorik turned back to Ward. "Why should we believe you now? Why reveal the truth at this moment?" Commander Ward took a deep breath. "For one reason." He pressed a button. A new hologram appeared. It showed a human ship, broken, burning, floating in deep space. The crew was gone. Destroyed by something unseen. Ward looked up at the council. "Because yesterday, we lost contact with the first Special Forces team sent to investigate the threat." The hall froze. No one spoke. Ward's next words hit the chamber like cold steel. "Even our strongest soldiers were not enough." The lights flickered. Every alien heart beat faster. And for the first time in their long histories, the galaxy realized, if Special Forces had fallen, then something truly impossible had awakened. The giant hologram of the destroyed human ship floated in the center of the council hall like a ghost. Burned metal, shattered decks, drifting pieces of armor, everything told one story. A Special Forces team had been wiped out. For the aliens this was impossible. For humans this was terrifying. Commander Ward stared at the wreckage in silence. His expression didn't change, but his eyes held a heavy weight. The council members watched him closely, hoping he would explain, hoping he would say something comforting. He didn't. Vorik's voice finally broke the silence. "Commander, are you certain? Your Special Forces team, no survivors?" Ward shook his head. "We found no bodies. No escape pods. No distress signal. Nothing." A cold breath passed through the room. "No bodies?" An insectoid squeaked. "What could erase bodies like that?" Ward tapped a panel. Another hologram appeared, this one showing strange burn marks on the metal hull. Circular. Pattern-like. Almost branded into the steel. "These marks," Ward said, pointing, "do not match any weapon known to us. Human, alien, or ancient." A reptilian commander stepped closer to the hologram. "They look like claws." Ward nodded. "That is one theory. But claws big enough to tear through ship armor?" the reptilian whispered. Several delegates took a step back as if the hologram itself was dangerous. Vorik's voice shook slightly. "Commander Ward, who was this team? Their names?" Ward looked at the council with a colder tone. "This was Omega-12. One of our strongest units. Every member was a veteran. Every member had survived battles that no one else dared to fight." The council murmured in fear. "They fell. What chance did anyone else have?" Ward added, "Their leader, Captain Rhea Morgan, is one of the most skilled soldiers Earth ever produced. Some aliens had heard her name before. A warrior known across sectors. A legend. A human storm in combat form. And even she was gone." A tall, crystalline alien raised a glowing hand. "How far was this team from our borders? How close is this threat?" Ward brought up another hologram, a galaxy map. A red dot blinked on the far edge. "This is where Omega-12 disappeared." The aliens leaned forward. The red dot blinked closer. Closer. Too close. Vorik swallowed. That is, only 4 hyperlanes from Council territory. Ward nodded. Yes. And the threat is spreading. The hologram zoomed out. More red dots appeared. 1, 2, 4, 8. Each one representing a system where strange readings appeared. This is not random, Ward said. Something is moving. System by system. Quiet. Slow. But unstoppable. An armored alien pounded his fist nervously. We must prepare our fleets. Ward said nothing. Vorik turned to him and raised his voice. Commander Ward, what do you suggest? What should we do? Ward finally answered. We need to find what happened to Omega-12. The council froze. Even suggesting such a mission sounded insane. An older alien with tentacles shook his head violently. You want to send another ship into the same danger? That is suicide. Ward replied calmly. Not suicide. A necessity. Why? Vorik demanded. Because if Omega-12 was taken, Ward said, we must know by what. Silence filled the chamber again. But humans cannot handle this alone, cried a glowing alien. You said so yourselves? Ward nodded. That is why I am here. Earth requests assistance. It was the first time in history that a human envoy publicly asked the Council for help. And that fact alone made the aliens even more afraid. A bird-like commander stepped forward. What kind of mission do you propose? Ward tapped the hologram. A large ship appeared, sleek, dark, powerful. This is the Horizon Spear. A joint exploration and defense vessel. We propose a mixed team, human and alien specialists. Vorik crossed his arms. To do what exactly? Ward answered. To go to the last location of Omega-12, and discover the truth. The council erupted. No. Madness. We cannot send our best people. The threat might follow them back. We could doom ourselves. Ward waited for the noise to end. When it quieted, he spoke softly but with steel in his voice. If we do nothing, the threat will come anyway. It will arrive at your borders. It will not knock. It will not negotiate. It will simply consume. The words cut deep into their minds. The galaxy had never faced an enemy like this. Vorik stared at the hologram of the broken ship. He remembered the fear he felt earlier. The dread. The cold sense of something impossible. He looked at Ward. Will you join this mission yourself, Commander? Ward didn't blink. Yes. Some aliens gasped. A human envoy joining the front lines? That meant something was even worse than they thought. Vorik sighed heavily. He had no choice. The council will vote. A moment later, glowing lights signaled the votes across the chamber. Green for yes. Red for no. One by one lights flickered. Green. Green. Red. Green. Green. Red. Green. Green. When the final light shone, Vorik stared in shock. It is decided, he whispered. The council had approved the mission. Ward bowed respectfully. Thank you. Vorik stepped forward and asked the last question in a quiet voice. Commander, what if you find that Omega-12 is still alive? Ward finally showed emotion. A small grim smile. Then we bring them home. And if they are not dead? Vorik asked. Ward's smile faded. Then something worse has happened. The chamber darkened. The mission of the Horizon Spear had begun. The Horizon Spear floated in orbit like a silent giant, sleek, black, and shaped like a spearhead ready to cut into the unknown. Its hull shimmered with advanced shielding plates, each piece reinforced with human engineering and alien technology combined. The ship did not look like a vessel built for exploration. It looked like a weapon. And maybe that's what it needed to be. Commander Ward stood on the docking platform as shuttles brought in the alien members of the mission. He watched each one arrive with the same calm, unreadable expression. But inside he felt a cold weight on his chest. Omega-12 had been his responsibility. They had trusted him. And now they were missing. Ward had to bring them back, or find out what happened. The first shuttle landed with a hiss of steam. From it stepped a tall reptilian warrior with green armor plates and a heavy tail. He introduced himself with a deep growl. I am Corvus of the Draken Guard. My claws and blade are yours. Ward nodded. Welcome to the mission. The second shuttle opened, revealing a small insectoid alien covered in soft blue fur, carrying a pack filled with scanning equipment. Analyst Tiri reporting, she chirped nervously. I will try not to panic. Ward actually softened a little. Just follow your training. You will do fine. One by one, members of different species boarded. A crystalline being with glowing joints. A floating gas-like alien contained in a special shell. A bird-like scout with fast wings and sharper eyes. A bulky armored fighter with 6 arms. It was a strange team. But every member was skilled. Every member was ready to face the unknown. And every member was afraid. Inside the Horizon Sphere, the crew walked through bright corridors of white and silver metal. There were holographic maps on walls, weapon cabinets locked with biometric seals, and armored doors leading to secure chambers. The engine hum vibrated softly through the floors. Tiri pointed at a large logo on the wall. "Why a spear symbol?" she asked curiously. Ward answered, "Because this ship is built to pierce the dark." Corvus rumbled. "A poetic human phrase." Ward didn't smile. "Not a phrase. A warning." The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. The briefing room doors slid open. Ward led the team inside. A huge hologram lit up in the center, a spinning model of the red-marked system where Omega-12 was lost. Ward turned to face everyone. "This is our destination. System designation, L-471. No planets with life. Only frozen rocks, gas clouds, and an old research outpost humans abandoned decades ago." The crystalline alien flickered. "Why did humans abandon it?" Ward paused. "Because the readings were unstable. And because something was wrong." A wave of cold fear passed through the room. Ward continued, voice firm. "Our mission has 3 goals. Investigate the last known location of Omega-12. Gather data on the unknown threat. Return alive." Some aliens exchanged worried looks. "Is returning alive supposed to be a goal?" Tiri asked quietly. Ward replied, "On this mission, yes." The bird-like scout raised a wing. "Commander, what dangers should we expect?" Ward tapped the hologram. A strange black fog spread over part of the map. Everyone stared. "What is that?" someone whispered. Ward answered with a tone even he hated. "We don't know." After the briefing, Ward walked alone to the observation deck. Through the massive window, Earth was visible in the distance, a bright blue sphere full of life and warmth. He wondered if he would see it again. He wondered if Omega-12 had seen the stars before they died. Footsteps approached. It was Corvus. "You carry guilt," the reptilian warrior said simply. Ward didn't deny it. "I sent them out there. And you will go to find them," Corvus replied. "Honor is restored by action." Ward looked back at the planet. "Honor isn't why I'm going." "Then why?" Corvus asked. Ward answered softly. "Because they were my people." Hours later, the ship prepared for departure. Warning lights glowed red. Engines powered up. Energy conduits lit the corridors with brilliant blue light. Every crew member strapped into their seats as the countdown began. 5. The engines rumbled. 4. The shields activated with a deep hum. 3. Panels across the ship locked. 2. Tiri's antennae shook nervously. 1. The Horizon Sphere launched into hyperspace like a blade of light. The galaxy blurred outside the windows. Stars stretched into long lines. The ship vibrated with unnatural speed. The aliens gasped, some in awe, some in fear. Ward sat in silence, staring ahead. He did not blink. After several minutes, the ship jumped out of hyperspace. Alarms began to beep. Warning lights flashed yellow, then red. "What's happening?" Tiri shouted. The pilot yelled from the front, "We're picking up interference. Something is distorting the sensors." Corvus growled. "Enemy?" "Unknown," the pilot replied. Ward stood immediately. "Bring it up on screen." The main display flickered, filled with static. Then something appeared. Something dark. Something drifting. Something huge. The room fell silent. Tiri whispered in terror. That looks like a ship." Ward narrowed his eyes. "No," he said quietly. "Not a ship." The image cleared. Everyone froze. It was Omega-12's ship, broken and drifting. But not empty. Horrifying shapes crawled across its hull. Dark, shadow-like creatures clinging to the metal like parasites. The aliens gasped. Ward's voice dropped to a whisper filled with dread. "Everyone brace yourselves." He stared at the monstrous silhouettes. "Because whatever those things are," he swallowed. "They were not there before." Every light on the Horizon Sphere turned red. Warning alarms echoed through the ship. The crew stared at the screen, frozen in disbelief. Omega-12's ship, once one of the strongest vessels in the human fleet, now drifted dead in space. Its metal hull was torn, scarred, and covered with strange, crawling shapes. They had no clear form. No solid bodies. Just moving shadows with sharp, claw-like extensions. Tiri, the insectoid analyst, whispered with shaking antennae. Those things, they're alive? Ward didn't answer. He couldn't. He had seen many threats in his life. Pirates, predators, void storms, even alien weapons capable of slicing asteroids. But he had never seen anything like this. The creatures moved across the ship as if they were feeding. Corvus let out a low growl. They consume metal. No, Ward corrected quietly. They consume energy. The crystalline alien flickered with fear. How can you tell? Ward pointed as one of the shadow creatures touched a glowing panel on the wrecked ship. Instantly, the light faded, sucked into the creature's body like water into dry sand. They drain it, Ward whispered. They eat power. The crew exchanged terrified looks. If those things got inside the Horizon Spear, they would eat the ship alive. Commander, what are your orders? The pilot asked, voice shaking. Ward took a slow breath. We scan the ship first. Do not get closer yet. The sensors activated, but immediately crackled with static. Interference, Thierry said, pressing buttons. Something is blocking our readings. Ward frowned. The creatures. No, Thierry replied. Something behind them. Ward stared at the display. It flickered. Then a dark shape appeared in the background, far behind Omega-12's wreck. Corvus leaned in. Another ship? No, Ward said with a tense voice. The shape wasn't a ship. It wasn't metal. It wasn't technology. It was a void. A patch of space darker than space itself. A hole of living darkness that seemed to pulse. And slowly, very slowly, it was getting bigger. Thierry screamed. That's not natural. Space doesn't move like that. Ward whispered, the same readings from the ancient ruins. The threat. The thing humanity feared for decades. The reason special forces were created. It was real. And it was here. Vorik's voice crackled over the communication line from the council ship. Commander Ward, what is that thing? Ward replied steadily, we believe it is connected to the entity that destroyed ancient civilizations. Static crackled. You must be mistaken, Vorik stammered. That can't be. Council leader, Ward said firmly, we have no time for denial. Prepare your fleet. The line went silent. Corvus stepped beside Ward. Commander, what about the creatures on the hull? Ward's face darkened. We need to retrieve Omega-12's data logs. They may contain clues about the threat. The bird-like scout screeched. Retrieve them? You want aboard that ship? Ward nodded. Yes. Thierry nearly fainted. Commander, that ship is full of shadows. Ward answered, which means we must move fast. He turned to the crew. Form a boarding team. Small group. Light gear only. No heavy weapons, they might attract the creatures. The crystalline alien flickered in terror. We cannot fight them? Ward looked him in the eyes. We don't know how. That answer chilled everyone to their bones. Minutes later, the boarding team gathered in the airlock. Ward stood in front, helmet locked, armor sealed. Beside him were Corvus and 2 human marines. Thierry would guide them through comms, but she would remain safely on the ship. Or at least that's what Ward hoped. The airlock lights turned yellow. Thierry's voice trembled through the comm channel. Commander, movement detected. The creatures are shifting. How many? Ward asked. All of them, she whispered. Ward stiffened. In what direction? Silence. Then Thierry screamed. Toward you. The team braced as the airlock opened. Cold, dead space spread out before them. The wrecked ship floated nearby, covered in dark moving shapes. Ward motioned. Go. Using magnetic boots, the team launched toward the shattered hull. Their hearts pounded. Their breaths were loud inside their helmets. The creatures hadn't reached them yet. But they were moving fast. As Ward landed on the wrecked ship, his mask lights flickered. The metal was covered in deep claw marks. The air felt wrong. Even though there was no air, a strange pressure filled the void around them. Corvus pointed. Something carved these marks. Ward nodded. Or something dragged Omega-12 out of the ship. They continued deeper, heading toward the command deck where the data core was located. Then they found it. A broken wall. A trail of blood. Human blood. Ward's hands clenched into fists. Captain Morgan, he whispered. Suddenly a scream burst through the comms. Commander. Behind you. Ward spun around. A shadow creature was crawling toward him. Fast, silent, unnatural. Corvus roared and stabbed at it with a magnetic spear, but the creature split into 2 and reformed behind him. What are these things? The Marine yelled. Ward shouted, fall back. Move to the inner chamber. They ran. The creatures followed. Dozens of them. Maybe hundreds. Silent. Hungry. Growing faster. The team reached the command deck and sealed the blast door. For a moment they breathed. Then Ward saw it. The data core still intact. But next to it, a human helmet. Captain Morgan's helmet. And inside it, hair. She had been here. And she had fought something terrible. Corvus looked at Ward. Commander, we must leave. Now. Ward grabbed the data core. No, he said with a cold, absolute voice. Not until I know what happened to them. Behind the door. The creatures slammed against the metal. Again. And again. The door began to crack. Darkness seeped through. The alien chamber slowly fell silent after the explosion of fear, confusion, and shock. Only the sound of breathing, both human and alien, filled the huge hall. Every species watched the human special forces who stood ready, calm, and unshaken. Their armor glowed softly in the low light, and their faces stayed hidden behind their dark visors. For the first time in galactic history, the aliens understood what true danger looked like. But they also saw something else. Restraint. Control. Honor. General Hale looked around at the alien leaders, his voice calm. No one is here to fight, he said. Not unless you force us. The council leader, Zirin Voss, struggled to speak. His throat shook with fear. Your soldiers, your special forces, their power is impossible. No species can be this strong without losing control. How can humans act with such discipline? General Hale stepped forward and the entire chamber froze again. Even the air felt heavier. They are strong because they are trained to protect, Hale said. Not destroy. Behind him the special forces remained still like statues. Not one of them moved. Not one reacted. Not one threatened. And that scared the aliens more than any weapon ever could. A warrior who shows power is dangerous. But a warrior who hides power is terrifying. Suddenly the doors at the end of the chamber opened. A small human figure walked in. Not a soldier. Not an officer. Just a young woman wearing a simple uniform with a medical patch on her arm. She looked harmless, soft, calm. Yet every alien eyes widened. Because she walked with the same confidence as the special forces. Counselor Drestal whispered, Another soldier? Another monster. Hale shook his head. No. She is a medic. A medic. A simple healer. The aliens blinked in confusion. Why would humans send a healer into a military chamber? Why was she so calm among such powerful warriors? The young medic stopped beside Hale and saluted him. The evacuation ships are ready, sir, she said. Hale nodded. Good. And the wounded aliens? Stabilized, she said. We gave them our best medical care. The alien council members looked at each other in shock. They treated our wounded, one whispered. They helped our soldiers, another asked. They healed us, even after we attacked them, a third said. General Hale heard them and nodded. Yes, that is how humans fight. With strength. But also with honor. The aliens fell silent, unable to understand this strange balance of human nature. Soft and hard, gentle and deadly, warm and cold. One of the Special Forces soldiers finally spoke. His voice was deep, controlled. Human power is not in our weapons, he said. It is in our choices. The hall grew even quieter. General Hale then turned to the council and said, You were afraid of human soldiers. Then you feared our special forces. But you never asked why we trained them this way. Council leader Zirin Voss leaned forward nervously. Then tell us, what drives your species to create warriors of such power? Hale took a long breath. To stop wars before they start. The aliens froze. He continued, We make our soldiers strong enough that no one wants to fight us. But wise enough that they never want to fight anyone. This truth hit the council harder than a weapon blast. Human strength was not for domination. It was for prevention. Suddenly the chamber lights dimmed. A hologram appeared above them, footage from the battlefield earlier that day. Alien soldiers firing. Explosions. Chaos. And then, the special forces arriving silently. No screaming. No panic. No anger. Only precise movement. Only protection. Only discipline. The hologram showed the moment one Special Forces soldier shielded an alien child from falling debris. The entire chamber gasped. That was mercy, one alien whispered. That was compassion, said another. It is unnatural, said a third in disbelief. General Hale shook his head. It is human. Then something unexpected happened. Council leader Zirin Voss stood up slowly. His legs trembled. He looked at the human forces. looked at their calm stances, their peacefulness despite their power, their kindness despite their danger, and he bowed. A deep bow, a respectful bow, a bow that showed surrender, but also admiration. "Humanity," he said softly, "you are not what we feared." General Hale bowed back, showing equal respect. "You are not our enemy," Hale replied. "Unless you choose to be." The two leaders held each other's gaze. And for the first time in galactic history, fear changed into respect. Other council members slowly bowed as well. Some out of fear, some out of gratitude, some out of awe. But all bowed, because they now understood the truth. Humans were not the strongest species because of their weapons. Not because of their technology. Not because of their soldiers. Humans were strong because of their heart. As the meeting ended, the special forces walked out silently in perfect formation. No cheers. No arrogance. No sound. Just quiet power. The medic walked behind them, holding her medical kit softly, her eyes kind. General Hale followed last, turning back for a moment. "Remember," he said, "strength is a gift. But how you use it, that is what makes a species great." And with that, the humans left the chamber. The aliens were never the same after that day. Because they learned the most terrifying truth in the galaxy. Humans were not feared because they wanted war. Humans were feared because they were the only ones strong enough to stop it.
The Stranger in the Forest. Night had already fallen over the quiet countryside when Ethan Hale closed the workshop doors. He loved the silence here. No city noise, no crowds, only wind and trees. His small cabin stood at the edge of a dense forest, far from any town. Most people thought he lived too far out, but Ethan liked it this way. He repaired old machines, fixed broken vehicles, and lived a simple life. But tonight, the silence felt strange. Too heavy, too still. Ethan paused on the wooden porch, listening carefully. Usually he heard crickets, owls, or the distant river. But now, nothing. Not even the wind. Then the ground shook. It wasn't loud, more like a deep thump under the earth. Ethan straightened, eyes scanning the dark trees. "What was that?" he muttered. A second tremor rolled through the soil. This time, louder. Something had crashed in the forest. Something big. Ethan grabbed a flashlight and his old repair kit. Out of instinct, not fear. He walked into the woods, boots crunching the dry leaves. As he moved deeper, a faint blue light glowed through the branches, and a sound followed, like metal breathing. Ethan moved quietly, pushing branches aside. The blue light grew brighter. Finally, he stepped into a small clearing, and froze. There, half buried in the ground, was a ship. A real ship, but not human. Its smooth silver hull looked grown, not built, shaped like a curved wing. Strange symbols glowed along the sides. Sparks jumped from damaged sections, lighting up the broken trees around it. Ethan whispered, "This can't be real." Then he heard a voice from inside the wreck. A soft voice. A woman's voice. "Help, please." Ethan's heart raced. He moved closer, circling the ship to find an opening. One of the side panels had cracked open, and inside he saw her, an alien woman, slumped against the console. She looked almost human, but her skin was a pale blue color. Her hair was long, silver white, glowing faintly. She wore a damaged suit with the same glowing symbols as the ship. She lifted her head weakly and looked at Ethan with bright violet eyes. "Please, help me," she whispered again before collapsing. Ethan didn't think. He rushed forward, climbed into the wreck, and checked her pulse. It was fast, but weak. Hey, stay with me," he said. "I'll get you out." He placed her arm over his shoulder and carefully pulled her out of the damaged cockpit. She was lighter than she looked. Maybe their bones were different. He carried her out of the ship and laid her on soft grass. The ship crackled behind him, sparks dancing across its wing. One more explosion, and it might burn. Ethan looked at the alien woman again. She needed help now. He picked her up and began walking back to his cabin. It took Ethan almost 20 minutes to reach home. He pushed the door open with his shoulder and laid her on the couch. Her breathing was shallow. Her eyes flickered open for a moment. "You are human," she whispered, surprised. "Yeah," Ethan replied. "And you're hurt. Let me fix that first. Talk later." He searched through his first aid kit. Some wounds on her skin looked normal. Cuts, bruises. Others looked strange, like burned circuits inside her veins. He cleaned her wounds, wrapped her arm, and checked her temperature. She was cold. Too cold. Ethan placed a blanket over her and turned on the heater. While he worked, she watched him quietly. "Why are you helping me?" she asked softly. Ethan shrugged. "Because you needed help. Anyone would do the same." She smiled weakly. "In my galaxy, not everyone helps strangers." "Well," Ethan said, "Earth still has some good people left." A faint hum came from her body, like a small device activating. Her breathing steadied. Her skin warmed slightly. "You're recovering," Ethan said. "Good." The alien woman nodded. "My name is Erin. I am a navigator of the Lyria system." Ethan sat on the small chair near the couch. "I'm Ethan. Human. Mechanic. And apparently, someone who now knows aliens are real." Erin looked around the cabin, curious. She touched the blanket with gentle fingers. "Your world is quiet, peaceful." "Only sometimes," Ethan said. "Now explain. Why did your ship crash here?" Erin closed her eyes for a moment, as if gathering strength. "I was escaping," she said finally. "Hunters were chasing me. My ship was damaged. I jumped through a worm gate, but it threw me out near your planet. I tried to land safely, but failed." "Hunters?" Ethan asked. "Like bounty hunters?" She nodded slightly. "Dangerous ones." Suddenly, the lights flickered. Erin's eyes snapped open. "They found me," she whispered. Ethan frowned. "What do you mean?" Erin sat up with difficulty and pointed toward the forest. "My ship sends a distress beacon when damaged. If I could detect this world, they can too." Ethan stood and looked out the window. The forest was dark and calm, but not calm enough. The silence was back. Deep, heavy, wrong. Erin tried to stand but stumbled. Ethan caught her. "You're not strong enough yet," he said. "I must fix my ship," she insisted. "If they arrive, your world will be in danger." Ethan took a breath. "Then I'll fix it for you." Erin stared at him. "You would repair an alien ship for someone you just met?" Ethan smiled slightly. "I'm a mechanic. Fixing things is what I do." Erin looked at him with something new in her eyes. Respect, maybe hope. "I misjudge humans," she whispered. "You are kind." "I'll take tools and go with you at first light," Ethan said. "We'll repair your ship fast." Erin nodded, trusting him. She lay back on the couch, exhaustion pulling her down. Ethan dimmed the lights and sat near her, keeping watch. Outside, the wind finally returned, but the sounds in the forest were still wrong. Something out there was looking for her. And now, for him too. But Ethan didn't care. He had helped her, and he would finish what he started. Little did he know, this simple act of kindness would change his entire life. And soon, he would receive a gift he never expected. A gift that would make the whole galaxy whisper one name. Ethan Hale, the human who helped a stranger and gained the impossible. The morning after the repair, Ethan woke up early. His mind was still full of the strange events from last night. An alien woman, a damaged ship, blue glowing circuits, and eyes that looked like they held entire galaxies. He walked out to the backyard to check if everything had been real or just a dream. The ship was still there. It floated silently above the ground, metal surface shining softly in the rising sun. And beside it stood Heriala, the alien woman, studying a device in her hand. Her silver hair moved with the wind, even though the air was still. Ethan stopped. Morning. Ariella turned slowly, and for the first time, she smiled. It wasn't a human smile. Her face shifted slightly, like light bending, but it was warm, and somehow familiar. You returned, she said softly. Ethan laughed. I live here. She looked confused for a moment, then nodded. Right, humans don't teleport to sleep. He noticed she looked different today, more relaxed, less guarded, but her eyes scanned the sky often, as if expecting danger. Ethan crossed his arms. So, did the repair work? Ariella's expression changed. She stepped aside and pointed at the ship. You did more than repair it. You restored a system I thought was dead. A system even our engineers fear to touch. Ethan blinked. I only rewired the energy conductor, and cleaned the regulator, and maybe adjusted some. She raised a hand gently. Ethan, no human should be able to do that. There was silence. Then, a low hum came from the ship. Panels slid open, revealing a soft blue core beating like a heart. Ariella stepped closer to him. I need to tell you something. Ethan felt his stomach tighten. Okay. She took a breath. I am not just any traveler. I am part of the Valor Sovereign Guard, the highest-ranking protection force in my empire. My ship was attacked last week. I escaped, but the enemy damaged my warp drive and chased me toward a forbidden sector. Ethan frowned. Forbidden? Why? Ariella looked at him with a strange emotion. Sadness, maybe fear. Because this is Earth, she whispered. Your world is not supposed to exist. That sentence hit Ethan like a punch. What do you mean? Ariella stepped closer. Ethan, according to our records, your species vanished 200 years ago. Ethan stared at her. We're right here. She shook her head. That's what scares me. Before Ethan could speak, Ariella suddenly grabbed his wrist and pulled him behind the ship. Her eyes went sharp, cold, alert. He whispered, What? What is it? Ariella pointed at the sky. A dark shadow was moving through the clouds. Something massive, something silent. The sunlight dimmed as it passed overhead. Ethan's heart pounded. Is that yours? No, she said. It belongs to the ones who hunted me. The shadow slowed above them. Ariella leaned close to his ear, her voice almost shaking. Ethan, listen very carefully. You helped me, so I will not let them hurt you. But they must not know you exist. They must not know Earth exists. Ethan swallowed. Why? She looked directly into his eyes. Because if they learn humans are alive, the entire galaxy will burn. The ship above them rumbled, scanning the ground with a red beam sweeping across the forest. Ariella pressed something into Ethan's hand. A small metallic chip, smooth and warm. He whispered, What's this? She looked at him with a serious, almost desperate expression. My gift to you, she said, but you must not activate it unless your life depends on it. Ethan stared at the chip, confused. What does it do? Ariella whispered. It calls me. Then, without warning, the sky split open. The enemy ship locked onto her with bright tracking beams. Ariella pushed Ethan behind a fallen tree. Stay hidden, no matter what happens. Ethan reached toward her. Ariella, wait. She gave him the faintest smile. You repaired my ship, Ethan. Now let me repay that kindness. And before he could stop her, she stepped out into the open, straight toward the enemy sensor beams. The air around her shimmered as her armor activated, and her voice echoed like metal. I am Ariella of the Valor Guard. If you want me, come take me. Ethan watched in terror as the sky roared to life. Ariella was no longer just an alien woman. She was a warrior fighting for him, a warrior who had given him a gift he did not understand. And as the enemy ship descended, he realized something else. This was only the beginning. Aiden stood in the middle of his garage, staring at the strange metal box the alien woman had placed in his hands. The box was smooth, silver, glowing with soft blue lines. It was cold at first, then warm, then almost alive. He didn't dare to open it. Why did you give me this?" he asked quietly. Nira smiled, her bright green eyes soft. "Because you helped me when you had nothing to gain. No fear, no demand, only kindness. In my world, such kindness is rare." Hayden scratched the back of his head. "But I just helped fix your ship. Anyone would." "No," Nira said. "Not anyone. Many would run. Many would panic. But you stayed." Her voice held truth. Aiden remembered the moment her ship crashed. Blue flames, loud thunder, smoke covering his field. He remembered seeing her injured and confused. He didn't run then, and he didn't regret helping now. But still, Aiden looked at the glowing box again. "What is inside?" Nira walked closer. "Open it when you feel ready. It will change your life." Aiden felt a shiver. "Change my life how?" She only smiled. Hours passed after Nira left the garage. Her ship rose into the sky, engines humming softly, blue light cutting through the night. Aiden watched her ship disappear into the clouds, feeling a strange emptiness. He sat alone in the garage, staring at the silver box on his table. The room felt too quiet, too still. He whispered, "All right, let's see what this is." He touched the top. The box opened instantly. No sound, no click, just a soft glow. Inside there was a small device shaped like a crystal. When Aiden picked it up, the crystal floated above his hand, spinning slowly. A stream of light shot out, forming a hologram. Aiden jumped. A hologram showed a star map, millions of stars forming new shapes he had never seen. Then it zoomed in on one star system far from Earth. Words appeared in a language he didn't understand, then changed automatically into English. "Well, Sioni, companion of the Zalari. You are now Oriciogenized Asali." Aiden blinked. "Ellie? What does that even mean?" The hologram expanded, showing strange alien symbols, glowing lines, and warnings. "XES Granted to Zalari protected status. Do not share this device. Do not lose it. You are under our shield." Aiden felt his heart beat faster. A shield. Protected. By a whole alien species. He sat down slowly, trying to breathe. "Nira, what did you give me?" Late that night, Aiden left the garage and walked toward his old farmhouse. He kept looking at the sky, half expecting Nira's ship to return. He finally reached his porch and sat down, staring at the fields. Insects chirped, wind moved through the grass. Earth felt small again, too small for what he had just seen. He thought, "I am just a mechanic, a normal guy. Why me?" But a deeper voice inside him answered, "Because kindness is not normal in the galaxy." Aiden wasn't sure if he liked that thought. Suddenly, a flash of light appeared in the sky. A small drone fell from above, landing right in front of him. Aiden stood up, tense. The drone projected a message in English. "Aiden Clark, you have taken possession of a Zalari artifact. Earth has no rights to hold such technology. Surrender it." Aiden froze. "Who are you?" Another line of text appeared. "Not your ally." The drone aimed a small weapon at him. Aiden stepped back, panicked. "Wait, I don't even know how this thing works." Suddenly, a bright blue beam cut through the night sky. The drone exploded in a flash of sparks. Aiden dropped to the ground, covering his head. Above him, a small glowing sphere floated down. Silently, gently, it projected a soft message. "You are under the protection of the Zalari. Stay calm. More threats may arrive." Aiden stared at it in shock. He didn't understand much, but he understood one thing very clearly. Nira's gift was not simple. It was powerful, important, dangerous, and now other alien species knew he had it. Aiden looked at the sky. Somewhere out there, Nira was watching. Maybe protecting, maybe worried. He whispered, "Nira, what did you drag me into?" The night wind didn't answer, but the glowing sphere hovered near him like a silent guardian. Aiden looked at the silver box again, the star map, the warning, the destroyed drone. He realized something frightening. This was only the beginning, and whatever was coming next. He was no longer just a mechanic. He was now part of something far bigger than Earth. The desert night was cold, but Daniel could not sleep. He sat outside the small camp he and Alira had built, staring at the alien ship glowing faintly under the moonlight. Sparks still rose from the open panels. He had done his best to fix what he could, but much of the ship was beyond human understanding. Inside the ship, Alira was quiet. She had barely spoken since sunset. Daniel finally walked toward the entrance. "Still working?" he asked softly. Alira looked up. Her silver eyes reflected the light like glass. "No, I'm thinking." Daniel sat down beside her. "About what?" Alira hesitated. "About you, Daniel, and your people." He laughed lightly. "My people. Trust me, we're not special. Earth humans argue every day. We fight. We complain. We make mistakes." Alira shook her head. "You do not understand. My people do not help strangers. We do not risk our lives for someone we just met. But you helped me without asking for anything." Daniel shrugged. Anyone would have done the same. She stared at him, serious. "No, they wouldn't." Silence hung in the air. The desert wind moved softly across the sand. Finally, Alira spoke again. "There is something I did not tell you." Daniel looked at her carefully. "What is it?" "My ship was not just damaged," she said. "It was attacked." Daniel's heart froze. "By who?" "My own people." Daniel blinked. "Why would they attack you?" Alira looked away. "Because I tried to stop a war." Daniel's voice lowered. "A war with Earth?" "Yes." She turned fully toward him. "I came here to warn humans. To tell them what my fleet planned. They want to take Earth's oceans, its minerals, everything. They believe humans will fight back. They want to strike first." Daniel felt a chill run through him. "And you wanted to stop them." "I believe there was another way," Alira whispered. "Peace, conversation, understanding." Her voice trembled. "For that, they called me a traitor." Daniel swallowed hard. "So you crashed here because they tried to kill you?" "Yes." He leaned back against the sand. "You saved Earth by choosing us. And then I found you." Alira smiled faintly. "Yes, fate was kind." A deep hum suddenly vibrated through the air. Daniel jumped to his feet. "What was that?" he asked. Alira stood quickly, fear in her eyes. "It's a locator pulse. From my fleet." Daniel's heart raced. "They're coming here." "Yes," she said. "And if they find me with you, they will not show mercy." Daniel looked at the sky. "I won't let them take you." Alira stepped closer to him. "You do not understand. They will destroy anyone who protects me, even you." Daniel clenched his fists. "Let them try." She stared at him, shocked, almost moved. "You are brave, Daniel. Too brave." The hum grew louder. A bright line appeared in the sky, splitting apart like a wound in the darkness. A massive alien cruiser slowly descended through the clouds, engines glowing red. Alira grabbed Daniel's arm. "There is no time. You must hide. They do not know about you yet." Daniel shook his head. "I'm not leaving you alone." Alira's voice broke. "Please, If they see a human helping me, they will kill you first, and I could not bear that. Daniel paused, then stepped closer. I trust you, he said. Tell me what to do. Alira looked at him with sudden emotion. Fear, gratitude, something deeper. You helped me fix my ship, she whispered. Now I must help you stay alive. The alien cruiser cast a massive shadow over the desert, lighting everything in red. Alira touched a small device on her wrist. Daniel, she said softly. This is the gift my people never gave me, but I give it to you. A bright blue shield burst around Daniel, wrapping him in shimmering energy. He gasped. What? It's a protection field, Alira said. If they try to harm you, it will save your life. Daniel stared at her, stunned. Why would you give this to me? Alira's voice trembled. Because you gave me something first. What? A reason to believe in your world. Above them, the alien warship opened its weapon bay. The ground shook. The night lit up. And everything changed. The forest was quiet when Ryan and Soraya walked toward the old landing zone. Sunlight passed through the leaves, creating soft moving shadows on the ground. Rand carried a small toolkit on his back, while Soraya walked beside him, calm but alert, her eyes scanning every direction. Are you sure the signal is coming from here? Ryan asked. Yes, Soraya replied. It is the same frequency as my people. But something is strange. The signal is weak, like someone is hiding it. Ryan felt a cold twist in his stomach. Or maybe they're hurt, like you were. Soraya nodded. Maybe. They reached the clearing where her damaged ship had crashed weeks earlier. The ground still showed burn marks, and broken metal pieces covered the area. Ryan remembered how scared he had been when he first saw her. Now she felt like a friend, maybe more. Soraya touched one of the metal plates and closed her eyes. This is not from my ship, she whispered. Someone else landed here. Ryan's heart jumped. Another alien. Before Soraya could answer, a soft humming sound filled the air. The ground vibrated. Rand looked up and froze. A small silver craft uncloaked above them, lowering slowly. It looked clean and new, with sharp glowing lines on its surface. It was nothing like Soraya's damaged ship. Soraya stepped forward. This is a courier vessel from my home system. But why would they come here? They do not know I survived. The craft landed gently. A panel opened with a hiss. A tall alien stepped out, similar to Soraya, but wearing a dark armored suit. His eyes locked onto Soraya with shock. Soraya, you are alive, he said. We feared the worst. Soraya bowed her head slightly. I lived because of him. She gestured to Ryan. He saved my life. The armored alien looked at Ryan with disbelief. A human helped you. Ryan shrugged awkwardly. Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. The alien stepped closer, studying Ryan as if examining a rare creature. Humans are considered primitive, violent, dangerous. Why would you help her? Ryan crossed his arms. Because she needed help. Isn't that enough? The alien blinked slowly. Strange. Your kind is not known for mercy. Soraya spoke sharply. You are wrong. He repaired my ship with no reward. He risked his life. He defended me against your enemies. She paused. He is not what our people believe. The armored alien seemed confused by her tone, but then he reached into a case he carried and pulled out a small crystalline object. It glowed like a tiny star. Soraya, he said quietly, you were declared lost. The council mourned you. But now, we bring a message. He offered the glowing crystal. This is for you. Soraya took it carefully. The crystal shifted into a symbol, her family crest. Her eyes widened. This means I am called home. The armored alien nodded. Yes, and not only that. He turned to Ryan. Because you saved one of our own. Our council has sent something else. Ryan blinked. For me? The alien reached back into the vessel and removed a small metal box, glowing with blue energy. Soraya gasped. No, they would not. The alien handed it to Ryan. This, he said slowly, is a gift that no human has ever received. Ryan stared at the box, confused and nervous. What kind of gift? The alien straightened, his voice serious. A sign of trust. He paused. And a warning. Ryan swallowed hard as the alien continued. Your life will never be the same after this. The night felt calm, but Daniel could not sleep. He sat on a rock near the crash site, staring at the stars. The quiet forest around him was peaceful, yet his mind was full of questions. Why was Rhaelara really here? Why did she trust him so fast? And what did she mean when she said, "The galaxy will remember you"? Behind him, the bushes moved. Rhaelara stepped out, wearing a long silver coat that glowed faintly in the moonlight. Her eyes were bright but calm. You are awake, she said. Daniel nodded. Couldn't sleep. Too much on my mind. She sat beside him. Daniel, there is something I must tell you. Something important. Her voice was soft, almost nervous. This surprised Daniel. She was always confident, strong, almost fierce. This was the first time he saw her unsure. What is it? He asked. Rhaelara looked up at the sky. My people are not just travelers. We are guardians. We protect life across many worlds. But something is coming. Something dangerous. Daniel felt a chill. Dangerous? Like a war. She nodded slowly. A war, or an ending. And my ship carried information about it. That is why I crashed. Someone attacked me. Someone who does not want anyone warned. Daniel swallowed. This was no longer a simple accident. This was bigger. Much bigger. So you're saying, he whispered, helping you brought danger to Earth. Rhaelara looked at him carefully. No, you did not bring danger. You brought hope. Daniel frowned. Hope. She turned toward him fully. Yes, you helped without fear. You repaired my ship even when you did not understand the technology. You cared. Humans. Care. That is your strength. Daniel didn't know what to say. He looked away, feeling shy. But Rhaelara gently took a small device from her pocket. A round crystal, glowing with blue and purple light. This, she said, is a Solarian star core. It is extremely rare. Only protectors carry it. She placed it in his hand. I want you to have it. Daniel froze. What? No, I can't. This looks valuable. It is priceless, she said. And I give it to you freely. But why? He whispered. Rhaelara moved closer, her eyes shining. Because you changed my fate, and maybe the fate of your world. You helped me when you could have run. You showed me trust. And now I trust you. Daniel looked at the glowing star core. It hummed gently, like it was alive. What does it do? He asked. Rhaelara answered with a calm voice. It chooses the worthy. If it accepts you, it will bond to your energy. It will protect you, guide you, and allow you to call me, no matter where I am in the galaxy. Daniel stared at the crystal in shock. Wait, you're leaving. Now. She looked away for a moment, sadness in her eyes. I must. My people need this information. The coming threat is real. I must warn them. Daniel felt something heavy in his chest, a feeling he didn't expect. He didn't want her to go. So this is goodbye? He asked softly. Rhaelara shook her head. No, this is a promise. She stood up and gently helped him to his feet. She placed her hand over his, closing his fingers around the star core. The day will come, she whispered, when your people will need this. And when that day arrives, call me. I will return. Daniel's heartbeat quickened. "Relara, I don't know what to say." She smiled, warm, bright, and full of something he couldn't explain. "Then don't say anything." Her ship's engines began to hum in the distance. The trees shook as the silver craft powered up. She took a step back. "Remember, Daniel, not all heroes carry weapons. Some carry kindness, and sometimes that is the strongest power in the universe." Daniel stood speechless as Relara walked toward her ship. Light surrounded her, covering her like a shield. She paused at the ramp and looked back at him one last time. "Keep the star core safe," she said. "It belongs to you now." The ramp closed. The engines roared. The ship lifted slowly, rising higher and higher until it broke through the clouds, disappearing into the stars. Daniel stood alone in the dark forest, the glowing star core shining in his hand. He whispered to the sky, "I'll be ready." But he had no idea what was coming next. No idea that this gift would make him the target of something far more dangerous than he could ever imagine. And no idea that his life was about to change forever. The night was quiet in Pine Ridge Forest, silent except for the soft wind moving through the tall trees. Jake Turner, a 27-year-old mechanic, walked along a dirt path with his toolbox hanging from his hand. He liked taking night walks after work. It helped him relax, clear his mind, and forget the noise of the world. But this night was different. As he walked deeper into the forest, a bright flash cut across the sky. It wasn't a shooting star. The light was too large, too fast, and too close to the ground. Then came the sound, a heavy, violent boom that shook the earth beneath his feet. Birds flew into the sky. Leaves rained down around him. Jake stopped. What the hell was that? He ran toward the direction of the crash. Smoke rose between the trees. The air smelled like burning metal. A faint blue glow flickered through the branches. When he reached the clearing, his breath caught in his throat. It wasn't a plane. It wasn't a helicopter. It wasn't anything built on Earth. Before him lay a small, damaged spacecraft, curved metal, glowing blue lines, and a cracked front window spilling sparks. The ship hummed like something alive. Jake stepped closer, his heart pounding. No way, this can't be real. Suddenly, the side hatch opened with a slow hiss. Smoke rolled out. Jake instinctively stepped back, raising his toolbox as if it could help him. And then she walked out, an alien woman, tall, slim, with silver-blue skin that reflected the moonlight. Her hair was long, white, almost glowing. Her eyes were bright violet, sharp and focused. She stumbled and almost fell. Jake rushed forward on instinct and caught her. Her skin was warm, not cold like he expected. She looked up at him, confused, breathing fast. "You are human." Jake blinked hard. Yeah? You are definitely not." She gave a weak smile. "I am Lyra of the Avari. Pilot, explorer, and now, maybe crash survivor." He helped her sit down beside a fallen log. She looked wounded, small cuts on her arms, her clothes burned in places, but she still looked strong, regal, and strangely calm. Jake asked, "Are you hurt?" "Ship core malfunction," she said. "Emergency landing. Not perfect." She tried to stand, but pain made her wince. Jake took out his flashlight and pointed it at the ship. "I'm a mechanic. Maybe I can help fix whatever this thing is." Lyra looked at him in surprise. "You would help me? A stranger? A non-human?" Jake shrugged. "You crashed in my forest. Seems wrong to just let you sit here." For the first time, Lyra truly smiled. It was small, almost shy, but warm enough to make Jake forget the danger. He stepped toward the ship, examining the damaged engine. The outer plates were cracked open, and strange glowing wires hung in the air. "This is advanced," he whispered. way too advanced. Lyra stood beside him, still unsteady. The power regulator is destroyed. Without it, the ship cannot fly. I cannot contact my people either. Jake touched the cracked part and felt heat through his glove. I can try to fix the casing and reconnect those wires. But I don't have alien tools. Lyra lifted a small metallic cylinder. Use this. Jake reached out and took it. It felt like holding a small sun. Light, warm, powerful. What does it do? He asked. It obeys your hand, she replied. Think of the shape you need. It will change. Jake stared at it. A shape-shifting tool. Seriously. Lyra smiled again. Your word, seriously, is cute. Jake felt his ears warm. She was unusual, beautiful, and terrifying. He kneeled beside the ship and activated the tool. It reshaped into pliers. Then a welding torch. Then a screwdriver. Jake's mouth fell open. Okay, this is incredible. Lyra watched him closely. Human skill is different. You work with your hands. I like that. Jake worked fast. He repaired the cracked plates, reconnected wires that pulsed with blue energy, and sealed the damage. Lyra assisted when needed, explaining which cables were safe to touch and which could vaporize his arm. After an hour, the engine hummed softly. It might start now, Jake said, wiping sweat from his forehead. Lyra touched the ship controls. A soft glow spread across the metal. The ship powered on, lights moving along the surface like flowing water. She turned to him, her violet eyes shining. You fixed it. A human fixed an Averi starship. Jake laughed nervously. Yeah, I guess I did. Lyra stepped closer to him. I owe you a gift. Jake shook his head. No, you don't owe me anything. She tilted her head. In my culture, a life saved must be honored. A promise must be kept. Jake swallowed. So, what kind of gift are we talking about? Lyra reached into a small compartment on her belt and pulled out a glowing crystal, bright blue and alive with light. This is an Averi memory core, she said softly. Knowledge of our people, our science, our history. I give it to you. Jake Turner. He stared at it, shocked. Why would you give me something so valuable? Lyra stepped close enough that he could feel her breath. Because you helped me without fear. Without asking anything in return. You showed me the heart of your kind. She placed the crystal in his hand. Jake felt warmth spread through him. Lyra smiled gently. Humans, she whispered, are more dangerous and more kind than the galaxy believes. She stepped toward her ship. Wait, Jake said. Will I ever see you again? Lyra paused, her silver blue hair shining in the moonlight. Yes, she said softly. Sooner than you think. The ship's engines glowed, lifting slowly off the ground. Jake watched as she rose into the night sky and shot upward, leaving behind only silence and the glowing crystal in his hand.